Hi everyone. So this week we're going to continue with our spreadsheets, but we're moving on to a different type of formula, which is an if statement, and then we're going to go on and look at this thing which is conditional formatting, which changes how parts of a spreadsheet look. So just a reminder from when we did our programming, when computers make decisions, they use these three words: if, then, else. So if something is happening, then do this, or else do the other thing. In a spreadsheet, we write this a little bit differently. So we say if, for example, cell A1 equals Y, and that's in speech marks because it's a word, then, so the comma means then, yes, else, no. And we're going to now use that to put together a quiz. So what you need to do is go to your drive. When you're in your drive, you need to go to Y805 spreadsheets and selection. Once we're inside there, you're going to go into the elements quiz folder. So open that one up, and there is one spreadsheet in there, so let's open that one up as well. So let me zoom this in a little bit so that we can see exactly what we're doing at each stage. So we've got the setup for a quiz about elements, so a science quiz. The first thing that you're going to need to do is get the periodic table in your planner, or get a periodic table online, and then you're going to need to come up with the symbols for 10 elements. Don't spend ages looking for difficult ones, just use some of the easiest ones, and you just need to then type those in to here. So let's just get those right, make sure you get the cases right. Okay, so we've got our elements there. So at this stage now, I want you to pause the video, go and put in your 10 elements, and then come back to the video to have a look at what we're going to do next. So if you've done that, the next thing that we need to do is put the answers into the answer boxes. So this doesn't really matter about capitals. Okay, we just need to get each of these in. So again, pause the video, put all of your correct answers in to the answer boxes, make certain that you have spelt all of them correctly, make certain there are no extra spaces at the end or anything like that. So pause the video, go and do that, and then come back. Okay, so if you've got to that stage, then the next thing we're going to do is just make this look like a quiz instead of it looking just like a normal spreadsheet. So first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to start in cell A1. I'm going to go all the way over to column E, down to here. I'm just going to go just one little further than the bottom of my questions there, and we're going to make all of the background white. Okay, and then click somewhere else. Now we're going to go into this cell that says QN. It may be slightly different on your spreadsheet, and we're going to highlight everything there. Don't let go, because we're going to highlight down to the bottom question, and we're going to then go to all borders. So again, stop the video, you're going to highlight everything and make it a white background colour, then you're going to highlight the question area and put the grid lines on. So pause the video and go and do that. So once you're back here again, next thing we're going to do is go over to the rows on the side here. So we're going to go to row 2, make sure that that black mouse pointer appears on there, right click, and we're going to insert a new row, and then let's go into the third row down, so A3, and put in name and a colon. Let's put a capital on that actually. So name and a colon, and then we're going to go up to the fonts here and we're going to make it bigger, so let's go to a size 16, let's make that bold. Then I'm going to get hold in between column A and B and just widen that there. Okay, so pause the video, do that, putting in name, we're inserting a new row, then we're putting in name, and then we're going to make that a little bit wider. Okay, if you've done that, the next thing, then we're going to click next to name, we're going to go back to our grid lines, and we're going to put on the thick outside borders. Over here then, above the answer column, we're going to write the score. We're also going to make that a size 16 and bold, and then this time I'm going to right align it. So again, pause the video and do that part. Now we're going to come over to score, and we're going to put that thick outside border around our score box there. Next we want our title, so use your own name in that. So as an example, something like that, and then we'll go back to A1 where we've just typed it. If you need to, make it big, so somewhere around the sort of 20, 22. We're going to highlight all the way across, so wherever our score column is, we're going to highlight across there. Make sure you're on home, and then we're going to go to this one, merge and center. I'll put that in the middle, and then let's put a background color there. Okay. That column, that row 2, sorry, is a little bit big, so I'm just going to bring it in slightly so that we can see what we're doing there. Okay, again, pause the video, do that stage so that we've typed in our title in A1, we've highlighted it all, and we've merged all those cells into one. Also, don't forget to be saving your file as you go along. So now, I can just make a few adjustments. I'm just going to bring this down slightly, because we don't need lots of room there. And now I'm also, just let me zoom out very slightly here for this. I'm going to highlight these two columns, because we've got a line going through the middle of our questions and we don't want that. So we're going to go back up to the borders. We're going to go to more borders, and then we're just going to click on this middle line here. So it disappears, click OK, and our line now is gone from there. We can also go to the top and just adjust these slightly. Again, pause the video, do that stage, save your file. So next we're going to start getting our scoring working. So we're going to start off with our first answer, and we're going to highlight all the others. Then we're going to right click and copy, or use Ctrl and C, and we're going to go over to answers, and we're going to paste our answers into this spreadsheet. So you're going to go up to A1, and we're going to paste these in. So use the paste 1, 2, 3, or use Ctrl V. I'm just going to zoom in on those a little bit as well. So all our correct answers are here. Later, when we finish the quiz, we will delete these answers so that people can fill them in, but we still need our correct ones on there. So after this one then, now we're going to do our if statement. So we're going to go equals if open bracket. So the thing that we need the computer to look at is this answer box. So we're going to say if, and click there. So yours might not be D6, it just depends where your answers are. So if this box equals, and now we're going to go to the answers sheet and click on the correct answer for that question. So we've got if D6 equals answers A1. Now click up at the top. Then, so we put a comma, 1 for 1 mark, else 0 for 0 marks, and close the bracket. So just let me get that formula up on the screen so that we can see it. Let's put the formula in here. Okay, so you're going to have if, might not be D6 on yours, but wherever your first answer is, equals answers A1, and you just get that by clicking on them, then 1, else 0, close the bracket. So back here then, at that point you press enter, and it will take you back to the first spreadsheet, and we've got our formula in there. Now we can replicate that formula, and then I'm just going to center these and make them bold so they stand out a little bit more. So pause the video, get that part working, save it, and come back again. Next we're going to click in this score box, and we need to add our scores up. So I'm going to go equals sum of all of those, close bracket. Let's make the score a little bit bigger so that it's a bit more noticeable. Maybe we'll just center it within that box. I'm going to go over to the name box now as well and just colour that so that people know where to put their name. I might just put that in the score as well. So next we're just going to add some colour to the rest of our spreadsheet. So I'm going to highlight across there. I'm going to go with that yellow colour at the top again. Then we're going to highlight all of the second question, hold down Control, and do the same for every other question. Okay, so if you need to, pause the video, highlight and colour that top row, and then we're holding down, we're going to highlight second question, hold down Control, and highlight all the others. Then we're going to come back here and we're going to pick a colour for each of those. Now, if you want to, you can also do the same with these, or you can leave them white. That's entirely up to you. So we've got our kind of working spreadsheet. So what we need to do now, though, people will just go and look at the answers there. So we're going to go down to answers, we're going to right click, and we're going to hide that sheet. Okay. So make sure you're up to date with that. Pause the video if you need to, and save your file. So we want all of the files saved at that point. Okay, so if you got to this stage, then we'll have a look at the extension work now. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to use something called conditional formatting. So conditional formatting changes the colour or the look of something depending on what is in that particular cell. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to delete the last few answers to show that we've not completed them yet. Then we're going to highlight all of our score column. So again, pause the video, go and do that. Next, from home, we're going to go to conditional formatting, and we're going to go to manage rules. So if we're going to manage the rules, we need a new rule. So again, at this stage, pause the video, make sure you go to, you've highlighted those, conditional formatting, and then manage rules. Once we're in this one, the one that we want is going to be this, format only cells that contain. Now we've got a statement here. So we want to format cells equal to 1, because those are the ones that will be correct. So cell value equal to 1. Then we go to format. Now we're going to go to fill. We're going to find more colours, and we're going to now pick a bright green colour. I'm going to click OK. We're going to click OK again, and then we're going to apply that. So the ones that are correct have now gone green. Okay. So again, pause the video if you need to, rewind it, watch that part again, and get the conditional formatting working for when people have got them correct. Now we're going to go to New Rule, format only cells that contain, the cell value is equal to, this time, 0. So I'm going to go to Format, and we're going to make that red. And click OK, and we're going to apply that. So again, pause the video, add that second statement, remember to save each time. So what happens now, we've got our scores in different colours there. As the person using the quiz starts to put some of these in, then each of those goes green, so that we just get some feedback for each of those. Okay, so again, if you need to, pause the video, get caught up with that, and make sure that your file is saved. So at this point, we've got our working quiz. There's one more thing that we can do, and that is add conditional formatting to our score. So on this one then, we just need to decide what our sort of score boundaries are there. So let's go to the conditional formatting here. Make sure you clicked on this one first, and then go to Manage Rules. Now it hasn't lost your other rules, it's just that they apply to those cells. So New Rule, format only cells that contain, cell value equal to 10, because we know our score is out of 10. So for 10, okay, we could have it in green again for those. If you wanted to do, you could do it like the belts that we use on the typing quiz. So we could say that if they get 10 out of 10, we're going to use black, but then you need to go back into format again, go to the font and make sure it's a colour that we can actually see. Yeah. So we've got that one there. Let's say New Rule, format cells that contain greater than. So if it is greater than, let's say 7, go to our format, go to our fill, okay, and I'm going to use this one, kind of like our brown belt colour there, and click OK. New Rule here, fill cells that contain. Okay, so I'm not going to do lots of these now, so let's just say with this one, if it's greater than 3, we format that and we might go with yellow, and cells that contain, and let's say if it is less than 4, which would include our 3, then we're just going to leave that in white. Okay, let's apply that. Okay, so it's white at the moment. Let's start filling some others in. Okay. So what we're finding there is that we've got to 10 and it hasn't changed to the colour that we wanted, and that's because of the order that the computer does the conditional formatting in. So first of all, make sure you clicked back on there, go back to conditional formatting, and we're going to manage the rules. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get it at each stage. If it's greater than 3, so if we get a score of 7, it's still greater than 3, so the computer doesn't bother to read the rest of those statements. So what we want to do is click on that and then bring that one to the top. Next, bring on our greater than there, and then bring on our greater than 3. So if we apply that, now that one should work in the correct way. And then let's start deleting some of these answers. So now we're down at that brown belt level. Okay, now we're down to the yellow, and it will go back to white. So if you've got time, you could go back into conditional formatting, manage the rules. No, sorry, and it's not going to work because I'm not on the right one. Click on that one, manage the rules, and you could have a different colour for each score. so that as people get more questions, they change. So then you would use cell value equals 10, cell value equals 9, or maybe is greater than 7. You might leave that one, and then you might do one for equals 6, equals 5, equals 4, equals 3, and so on for your quiz, just depending whether you've got time or not. If you've got everything on your quiz completed, please make sure that you save it so that that work is safe, and then go back into your drive, go back to 805 spreadsheets and selection, and if you've got time then go into lesson 5 spreadsheet space quiz. So it's going to be very similar as this. The PowerPoint there will tell you how to set up your statements for it, and you've got the spreadsheet there to get you started.